The past few entries of Fighter Spirit, our series on the fighters of Super Smash Bros., have spent a lot of time on the histories of Smash's heroes on and off the battlefield. The context is necessary because the histories are a huge part of their appeal. Fans love fighters who are satisfying, but they also love the ones who bedazzled and enchanted them long before they joined Smash's storied roster. They love fighters who, through the very way they run and jump and fight, represent what made those games of theirs so compelling. Fighters like Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is a big deal. At his height, the Blue Blur was one of the most popular mascots on Earth. He and Mario fought on the front lines of the 90s rivalry between SEGA and Nintendo, a period that defined huge swaths of console gaming. A documentary about it just came out, one which I haven't seen and which, to be honest, looks tragically bland. Sonic's gone through far more triumphant zeniths and embarrassing nattiers in years than most video game series ever get to enjoy. And the hero joining Super Smash Bros. Brawl, one of the most anticipated fighting games of its day, was also big. It didn't matter that Sonic was at a low point in his career, him and Mario finally sharing the stage, well, him and Mario sharing the stage in something that wasn't a contentious tie-in for the 2008 Beijing Olympics, was huge. It was propulsive, it was an event. Fans broke the official site trying to watch the flash video of him racing into Brawl. So huge even that it actually screwed with the game a bit. Sonic was the last fighter added, in 2007, a year before the game was released. It was 2 years into production, 2 years after the roster had been decided. And initially that roster had even included Sonic before Sega shot Nintendo down. Adding him threw off the development timeline and was apparently the cause of the game's last-minute delay. Questions abound of what, if any, of Brawl's sizable cut content was the price for Sonic's inclusion, as do rumors of the circumstances by which Sega let him join. We'll likely never know, but the Hedgehog adds an appropriate wrinkle to the story of Brawl. A consequence we can see more directly was that he was a bit choppy, certainly the result of his last-minute addition. He lacked the polish Smash fans are used to. But did it matter? No, not really. Sonic was in Smash. That was what mattered, and he still played well. He had his homing attack and his sisking taunt and a beat in the story where he saved the day. And thankfully, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U would make him look and move really good, befitting his fame. Like a true mascot, Sonic came with a plethora of moves. This wasn't the Mammal's first rodeo, he had already starred in Sonic the Fighters in '96, and when that game wasn't enough, the staff of Brawl happily took influence from Virtua Fighter and the rest of Sega's fighting game legacy. Given that Sonic is a mascot for not just a series but a whole company, that's fitting. He is also, however, more than a collection of references and corporate branding. His core, the idea defining Sonic's fighting style, must be something else. The natural conclusion would be his speed, and it is rightfully front and center. The fastest thing alive is known for that above all else. It's dominated his games and is at the center of his brand. And appropriately, Sonic in Smash is immeasurably fast. The speed of his dash outpaces the rest of the cast, letting him zip by waves of opponents and accidentally fall off the ledge. Good thing his recovery's strong, his spring jump is amazing. Sonic's walking speed is one of the best too, just slow enough to keep steady while managing to outpace some fighters' dashes. That's actually something straight from Sonic the Hedgehog, that Sonic starts out slow but soon gets racing. It's a smart thing to grab not because it's a good cut, but because it helps casual players, many of whom would have bought the game just to play as him, pilot the character. And yet his best moves? Not quite so fast. Many of his most reliable finishers are laggy. He's got good, quick attacks for racking up damage, like that fun forward aerial. In fact, his air game is great in general. But it's good for combos and not reliable KOs, leaving most players to rely on his smash attacks. And those are strong, but also rather slow to start and end. His forward smash, this lovely little wind-up punch, has a range that's deceptively long but somewhat thin at the same time, and it can only kill at fairly high percents. The Hedgehog's talents lie in building combos, not sealing the deal. That's an important idea then. Speed is Sonic's game, yet he also lacks speed in a few key areas. He takes the idea of the fast but weak archetype to this goofy extreme, constantly making light cuts and fishing for KO opportunities. And paradoxically, him having to be slow in certain key ways only furthers that idea, that energy. But I think there's something else. Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai likes to define the fighters he creates through that idea of a core, often using a sort of pithy, marketable slogan. Sonic's fellow Brawl newcomers had burly swordsman, pointed sword dancer, and flexible martial artist. I don't think Sakurai ever mentioned Sonic's, but a 2007 interview with Famitsu, supported by his writings on the official Smash Bros. Brawl blog, might reveal it. The first Sonic the Hedgehog is a game that can be played with one button. Even though it's simple, it still feels invigorating. The gameplay of Sonic the Hedgehog is simple. You have a button and a control pad, and that's it. Sonic's speed doesn't build by inputting a command, it's simply an act of moving far and uninterrupted enough until he hits either an obstacle or the goal. The complexity comes from learning and memorizing levels. It's a key idea, but many of Sonic's own games and imitators have struggled to understand this, relying instead on obtrusive abilities or poor level design. So this virtue of Sonic sometimes goes ignored by developers and players, but not by Smash. It can't realistically copy everything, in Sakurai's own words, his games are about improvisation over memorization, but it can honor the mechanical simplicity. And we know that Sakurai likes that philosophy because his last Kirby game did exactly that. Almost every action in the frenetic, lively Kirby Air Ride required only the A button, and that was a central part of what made it so satisfying. He also reused the system for something he made in Game Builder Garage. It's a good system. Super Smash Bros. Fundamentally cannot match that. Each fighter simply has too many moves, too many types of moves for that to work. The game makes do with what it can, making it easy to throw out special moves is a big part, but a control scheme as simple and direct as Sonic's can't work. But many characters try to keep that simplicity alive, and Sonic is at the forefront of that attitude. Perhaps the weirdest part of the Hedgehog's moveset and a central part of that ethos comes from two of his special moves, Spin Dash and Spin Charge. They're side and down specials respectively, and they act incredibly similarly. Spin Dash lets you zoom around, knock foes away, and even jump into them while they're airborne. And Spin Charge is mostly the same. You simply charge the spin to make it stronger, and then you dash. This isn't to say that they're just the same move. The charging aspect of Spin Charge allows it to do a few things, and performers at very high levels of play have managed to find specific tricks for each one. But functionally, for most players, they're the same move. It might seem like a bit of a cheat to have a character with only 3 special moves, especially a big one like Sonic, who is wanted by millions and has his own Macy's Thanksgiving Day float. And yet, it works. Really, really well. Most importantly, it works because that basic simplicity meshes perfectly with Sonic's style. He doesn't really need to do a lot of things, just have the opportunity to stay mobile. In that sense, providing two, pardon the genuinely unintended pun, spins on his main special move furthers that. And even if they overlap, it never feels like he's missing something. Honestly, too many moves would just slow him down. There's also a philosophical value. This approach ensures the character is simple and clear and easy to understand, and only hard to control in the most extreme of circumstances. That's incredibly important for an icon whose inclusion was enough to bring some new players into not just Smash or the Wii, but potentially the entire Nintendo ecosystem. There's an argument to be made that a character that big, that famous, needed a design that was more friendly and intuitive. The fighter is strong evidence in its favor. Smash has been good to Sonic. It's given him some much-needed, much-deserved support during some bad times. As a fighting game, it's been an opportunity to strut his stuff with other world-renowned icons. It's even managed to infiltrate his own world. A crossover with Mega Man in his comic used the imagery of Smash Bros. Boxing Ring, and the 2020 Sonic the Hedgehog movie directly copied art and animations from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And given Sonic's popularity, that makes sense. But the series has also managed to capture a concrete part of Sonic's history that his own series has sometimes failed to understand. It looks at his most basic pitch, going at the speed of sound, and grab the soft, gooey details that actually make that work beneath the memes and the slogans. Sonic in Smash is fast, and he's much, much more. In this faraway land, he's both guest and king. Wow, we blazed through Sonic pretty fast, huh? If you like this, check out the previous episodes of Fighter Spirit and consider donating to our Patreon. Those are our Patreons on screen, actually. Thank you all for your support. As for myself, Wolfman Jew, I'll be homing in on the next script for the series. And thanks to my partners Ozzy and AShadowLink for making this. Until next time, remember to return to the source.